world. What kind of podcast is this?
Oh, they didn't give you the heads up? It also goes on other websites.
And the lights get dim.
They do. Around 8.
We got to get you laughing
We got 30
first.
minutes.
All right, we'll get started.
Are we live?
We're on now.
Okay.
Yeah?
No joking. No more jokes.
Again,
have no filter.
We can edit anything at the end.
Okay, no more jokes. Let's do it.
Serious.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda, episode number 55. We are back.
Yeah, and another episode. We have some great guests coming in.
Yes, sir. We have Red Boxing International Promotions. Ray in the building. How's it going, Ray? Welcome.
I'm good.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. And then we have Janae, all right?
Yes, sir.
Marketing Director of Red
Hello,
Boxing
hello,
Promotions.
hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for
Round
having
of
us.
applause for Ray, too. Round of applause for Ray, too.
So, quick question: is this the first, second podcast you guys have been on?
This is my first.
First.
This
Yes.
is my second
Hey, there you go. Okay.
boxing rundown.
All right.
Oh, we don't know those guys, but yeah.
We're moving on up.
There you go.
Against the
Exactly.
Against the ropes. We are back. Yes, sir. So let's let the listeners know a little bit about you guys. Let's start with you, Ray.
What was the question?
So tell us a little
He's
bit.
nervous. He's nervous.
Yeah.
Second podcast.
Oh yeah. What's it?
No, so just tell us a little bit about yourself, your position, and just
Red Boxing
Red
Promotions.
boxing. Well, in boxing, I have a long history in boxing. We started boxing in 1960s with my grandfather,
Wow.
like 1960. WBC is not even born at the
Mhm.
time, because WBC was born in
Yeah.
62.
mhm.
Yep.
You know, then my uncle is the first WBC Filipino world champion in 69.
What's his name? Tell us his
Uh,
name. Brag about it.
Rene Barrientos.
Okay.
Yeah,
Barrientos, okay.
he's still alive. He's in the
Hey.
Philippines.
Next
you
time,
know.
bring him.
Yeah. So my dad inherited my grandfather's promotional company.
Mm.
So he did. My grandfather did it from 60 to 87.
Oh wow.
Then my dad did it from 82 to 94.
Mm-hmm.
And then my uncle is also the biggest commission in our island, like the boxing commission here,
Mm-hmm.
from 1992 to 2010.
Oh wow.
So that's my history on boxing.
Oh nice. And that commission is
Wow.
based in the Philippines?
Yes, everything is based on the Philippines.
Oh wow. What was the name of that?
Which one?
That com-
Games and Amusement Board.
Oh okay.
Send a quick shout out to the Filipinos in your language, please.
I don't know. We speak English.
First generation.
Yeah.
Any big Filipino names that came across those
During that time,
Mhm.
Rene Barrientos is one of the biggest name in the Philippine boxing
Okay.
scene. Jongjong Paking is one of the biggest and still is. That my grandfather made him champion. We have Little Baguio. We have Dodi Boy Piñalosa, Jerry Piñalosa.
Oh yeah.
We have a lot, like Billy Abato. We have a lot. You have to understand, during those time, it's not like right now.
Mhm.
Everything, there's a lot of belts. Before, it's just WBA and WBC
Yeah.
and the Oriental Championship. So now we have GBO, GBU, WBF, 2WBF.
Mhm.
WWE.
We have IBO. But in fairness too, there were lesser boxer during that time compared to this time. So it would be harder to get a belt.
To get a belt, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you feel about that now that there's so many belts out there? I mean, that means that there's a better chance of being a champion or a title holder.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, to me, that opens opportunity for young men,
Mm-hmm.
because not everybody can be a WBC world title
Mm-hmm.
holder, and it gives an opportunity for other sanctioning body to fight for the WBC belt or the WBA belt. If you're a
Mhm.
GBU, GBO, or a WBF champion, it
Mhm.
gives opportunity. It opens doors.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you have to understand, it is not the belt that makes the money.
Mm.
You know, it's the fighter that makes everything happen.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
the, if a fighter loses, if a fighter wins, we praise the fighter.
Mm-hmm.
If the fighter loses, we curse the coach. You know, it's so sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean if your belt is WBC, WBO, or WBA, you get paid by what you are worth.
Mm-hmm.
I have an offer of a $7,500, you know, belt for a WBO, but then there's also an offer for Pacquiao for 10 million because Pacquiao can sell.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, he has more market value.
Yeah.
Then they just offer this guy another guy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so being a champion doesn't mean having a belt doesn't mean the value of your purse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a belt is just a trophy.
Mm. And yeah, I have to
like,
agree.
for example, Tyson Fury won the Maya belt, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know
Yeah.
how or why.
Yeah, if
But he got a belt
if I give
in his last
if
fight.
I give Pacquiao or Tyson Fury an unknown belt,
Yeah.
it doesn't lessen his value.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning to say, if he gets paid for 20 million, he's still gonna get paid 20
Mhm.
million regardless of the belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the trophies I guess that most comes to mind is the Muhammad Ali, you know, trophy.
Yeah.
I guess, but they call that one a trophy. Like you're not hiding it behind like a belt,
Yeah.
saying like this is
Yeah.
this is a trophy. This
And
is
it's
just
a
an award.
tournament as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Janae? What can you tell us a little bit about Red Boxing Promotions? You're in charge of marketing, right?
I
a little bit.
am. I'm now in charge of marketing, so it's a little exciting to see this come together because we don't just get fighters just throwing them together. We really do our research and really match them up precisely. So it's really exciting. For example, on this fight, you're going to see some great people go at it without knowing who's gonna win. You know, so it's really exciting because we get to see fighters as they're going pro and building their career. So they're putting it all out there, you know, so you get to see the raw talent, you know. So it's really exciting as far as being on the marketing side to be able to see it all come together, you know, reaching out to businesses, sponsors, you know, to build something amazing, you know, an amazing platform that, you know, it's going to take time, but the end result's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest challenges that you encounter like on a day-to-day basis?
You know, because there's already promotion companies out there, it's having to getting people to listen, to give us the time of day to really tell them what we're about and to come out and check it out. You know, once you come to our fights, you want to keep coming back.
Yeah.
That's the response I'm getting is, you know, getting them there is one thing, but getting them to come back, that's the easy part because I see people impressed. They love it. We're bringing back that love of boxing again, you know, and you get to see that raw talent, you know, which is really exciting.
And I've been to one of the fights in Pico at the Pico Sports Arena, right? And it reminds me a little bit of how the StubHub used to be. I mean, it's a Hispanic Mexican, you know, fan base.
Right.
So it's always like loud.
Right.
And so I feel like that carries into the ring. It makes like the fighters like want to be a little bit more aggressive and stuff. And so I mean that's just fan friendly for the fans. And of course there's drinks there. That can only help.
That helps a lot. And you know, and you have a bigger space.
Yeah.
You know, some of the fights you're inside of a casino or a venue and you feel a little congested, you know. Here, you know, a lot of fighters say that they have breathing room, that, you know, and when you're starting, it makes a difference. It motivates them to keep coming back. Even if they win or lose, they want to keep coming back. You know, they want to keep fighting because of what we present to them.
Yeah. I took my sister to the last show, and it's the first time she goes to see fights. And my sister, she's very tough. She's a tough, independent young woman. And when she saw the girls fight, she's like, "Oh my God, that's how they fight." She's like, "I'm never pissing off a boxer, like chick ever."
And that's
so
the
funny.
excitement because we're not just giving the platform for males, but for females, you know. So it's opening a lot of doors for females to come out and check it out. And at the same time, it's motivating the kids, you know, giving them options. And some of these fighters have been fighting since they were little, you know. So if you hear their stories, we have females who are single mothers, Latina single mothers, you know, really putting in that work, you know, going to work, going to school. So it's really good to talk to these athletes because they're motivating our youth right now, and that's what we need is motivation for the kids to work hard, to be dedicated to a sport.
Yeah, so you guys are working with these fighters, you know. I'm sure you guys get close to, you know, to some of these fighters. How do you feel when you see them like in the ring taking shots like?
Oh man, I'm excited. You know, like I have, you know, like El Moreno, he's one of my Pico Rivera favorites, you know, coming from my old alma mater as well. So it's exciting because you see the development, you see them putting in the work, you see them trying to make weight, and that's really, really hard, you know, and I see them on a day-to-day basis, so I can see, you know, when they're tired and they just keep pushing through, you know. So you know, when you're seeing them out there putting it all out there, you just can't help but want to scream as loud as you can, rooting for them, you know. And like I said, sometimes you don't know which way it's gonna go, so it's just overall excitement to see their story.
Yeah. What about you, Ray? What feelings come when you see the action in there in the ring?
The feeling that it's not really for the boxers. The satisfaction that comes from me is for the people. We're not doing this just to have a favorite fighter win. You know, we were doing this to the people. As you can see, boxing has changed from way back when. When we did boxing in the 80s, 90s, you know, boxing, people fight who they want to fight. And right now, it has been changed. I think I call that the Mayweather Syndrome. Mayweather really changed the sport. You have to compare boxing and an MMA show. You know, MMA, they have 8 wins, 5 losses, and people come to see the fight. But if you're a boxer and if you have losses, it somehow discourages people to go. That's why most of the managers are trying to take care of the fighters. When you take care of your fighters, you baby them, what's going to happen is when they reaches to a certain point of their lives, like 14 to 20, that they have no more losers to beat up, they have to step up their game. And truth be told, something would happen or they're going to get knocked out. You know, if you believe someone is really badass, they have to fight, you know, a good fighter. So what I'm trying to say is we want to bring back the fight to the people. You know, we want to have a people's champion instead of just a champion.
Paper champion.
Yeah, because if you build them up, that's a paper champion. That's why, what's the difference between Manny Pacquiao and other champion? You saw Manny Pacquiao lost, but he still has the heart of the people. Why? Because when he came here to the United States with 10 days notice against Lolihelo Ledwaba, he knocked him out. When he knocked him out, nobody knows his name. If you look it back, the commentator could not even say his name. So what I'm trying to say
Mexican
is,
people still can't say his name.
We can't say a lot of things.
So, after that win, they want to get back the belt and put him into tough fights. But again, he proved himself and knocked everybody out.
He beat Barrera right after that.
Barrera.
He had the tie against Marquez. Then Eric Morales. And Marquez like 5 more times.
So there's no more, you know, he is the champion of the people, made by the people and chosen by the people. We want to build a champion like that.
So what makes a successful event for you as a promoter?
A successful event, of course, man, you'll know when the people are cheering their loud in the arena, because you know that it's not a one-sided fight. If you go to a red boxing fight and you have been, you will never know who's going to be the B side or the A side. And that's what we are trying to build towards. So little by little, we're talking to managers that, you know, we can't bring a cadaver inside the ring for your kid to give a win, you know, or just a little heartbeat, you know. If you're investing to your kid, they have to fight. You know, what if you're investing thousands and thousands of dollars? After 20 wins, you think they're the badass, but they're not.
Yeah.
They get knocked out.
Yeah.
That's more heartbreaking. It's better to know now than then,
Mm-hmm.
where you invested
Yeah.
more
Mhm.
more money.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Sure.
yeah, one of the things like you mentioned is like the red corner and the blue corner. You kind of want to just see like almost like a purple where like you don't know who's, or make it so it's so competitive that it's.
You've been to a red
Yeah.
boxing
Mhm.
show, right?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, for the most part, like you kind of think you're gonna see like once,
You
but
think
no,
you
it's
know,
it's
but you
close.
don't.
All of them
Yeah.
have always been close.
It is
Mhm.
close,
Yeah,
And exciting.
and exciting. Yeah, yeah.
and
And-
that's what makes it more exciting.
Mm-hmm. And then that's where that word of mouth goes, where like people will invite other people if they know that you're not just gonna see a one-sided fight. You're gonna see,
I sell you a $55 ticket,
Mhm.
and you see a fight that's one-sided. Would you come back?
No.
Even if you're rooting for a guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's your friend. Yeah, you're my friend, but you're fighting bums, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta step your game up,
Yeah.
especially when you're around 8 and above.
Mm-hmm.
When once you have that record, you have to test yourself.
Mm-hmm. You see, like after 8 fights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a message that you send directly to your fighters?
No, this is a message for the world,
Mm.
because if we discourage people from doing that, what's gonna happen is it's gonna kill boxing, and red boxing is here to keep it alive.
Mm-hmm.
We are here to keep the people engaged.
Yeah.
People go to an MMA fight with 6 losses,
Yeah.
11 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Because they see the fight.
Mhm.
They see a fight.
Yeah.
They're paying money. This is their hard-earned money. $55, $100. How many hours is that
Yeah.
in a day that they sacrifice just to go to your event?
Mm-hmm.
You have to give them the best show you can give them.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Boxing is not a boxing promotional company. We are a promotional company for the people.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this for the audience. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for the media, and we're giving favors to the fighter, thinking that they're badass and they're gonna get knocked out after a couple of fights wins that was handed to them
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
by their management. We have to change the way we think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that you said that 8-0 after that, like they have to start taking better challenges. I guess you can apply that to life. If you're always taking it easy, you're not growing as a person, or you're not growing, by not being challenged. And so that's something that we see when a fighter's protected for far too long, and then they get a tough assignment and boom.
AKA
Yeah.
British boxers. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You have to also understand the way boxing works.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 15 fights and you're fighting guys that are not ranked,
Mm-hmm.
why am I 15-0 and I'm still 100 in the ranking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting
Yeah.
bombs.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You're not stealing other people's ranking. So you have to move up. No, not stay where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to fight a guy that's in the rank of 90, then 60.
Yeah.
Just go to until you're number 1
Yeah. That's,
to fight a mandatory defense.
Mm-hmm.
I can be 50-0, but who's gonna watch?
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because a lot of people don't realize that these big stars, they kind of paid their dues early, right? Even if you look at guys like Canelo, he was fighting guys like Erislani Lara early on in his career. I think he got paid like 1.5 million guaranteed, right? If he would have waited a couple of years, he could have made 5-10 million, right? But he took him out pretty early. He fought guys like Austin Trout, right? Even Shane Mosley,
Yeah.
right? He paid his dues early in his career. Now he's probably the biggest star in boxing.
He is the
Right.
biggest star in boxing right now. But yeah, he may get paid 5 million after a couple of years, but that's gonna look bad on his record as well, because you're fighting older guys. It's better for him what he did, because he just made 365 million.
Yeah.
I would rather take the 365 than the 5 million fight.
Even fighting guys like Jose Miguel Cotto, right? We
Yeah.
saw him almost get knocked out.
Yeah.
And he was 19 at that
19,
point, 19
yeah.
years old, fighting a guy who's 31-1. I mean,
Tito Trinidad, 21 years old, 21 fights, already a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are the records you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's not he fought a Mexican guy with 56-0 with 50 KO. And Trinidad almost went down.
Yeah.
No, he went down actually on the second round. Then he knocked him out on the fifth or fourth round, the Mexican guy. But it was tough, 56-0 with 50 KO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of boxers nowadays don't realize that or don't see that. Like you said, the Mayweather effect, right?
Yeah.
Low risk, high reward, right?
But see, there's only one Mayweather out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
man. You cannot try to replicate what he has done.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be a very high concept. You have to build your own brand. You have to have your own
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
I would rather see a guy who has 16 losses and became a world champion. Why? Because that applies to each and every one of us. Not only in boxing but outside boxing. When you are in struggle, you don't need to be to have a perfect record to reach the top.
Yeah.
You know, so you're poor now. If it's money, when you're poor now, you have to work on top. You got beat up, then you finally made it. Just like in boxing, he has 16 losses, but then he became a world champion.
Yeah.
So he becomes a people's champ. Why? Because people in Indonesia have bad record. People in the Philippines have bad record. People in other parts of the world have bad records. It gives them inspiration, man. That, you know what? I can still be a champion.
Yeah, the names that come to mind is, of course, Manny Pacquiao, who had like early losses in the Philippines. And
Soren Visai.
Soren Visai, I was going to say that, yeah. He also has some losses that came to be world champions and very good world champions. I mean, Manny Pacquiao and Soren in the pound-for-pound rankings. And that's something that we tell some of the fighters that come on. You know, you take up early losses, you know what? I send them a message like, hey, this guy, you know, also took losses, but keep going, man. Keep going. So
that's how you learn. In
Yeah.
boxing, for me, there's really no losses. If you're able to step in that ring, you're winning.
Yeah.
You know, that you're showing yourself that you're disciplined, and that's the best form of self-love, is to be able to stay disciplined. So like he said, win or lose, you know, you should stay motivated, you know, and those, you know, however way you position yourself, even if you lose, you're learning something different. You're learning new techniques. And some of the fighters, you know, they tell me that they learn more when they're in that ring, win or lose, you know, and some fighters take it so graciously. They love it. You know, I lost, I don't care. I was able to have the experience, and I've learned something that I'm not learning in the gym, or I'm not being challenged because I'm so used to my sparring partners. You know what I mean? So, so it's amazing when you see, no matter the record, because you know that eventually there's going to be a champ somewhere in there.
Yeah. Even in a losing effort, I mean, if you give it all and, you know, you gave a good account of yourself, you know, and you make your family proud, because these venues mostly it's family, right? It's family and friends that, you know, that come out and come and support.
Right.
And of course, as a fighter, you want to, like, you know, you want to bring some joy to your family, but, you know, even in defeat, you can bring them joy, because, you know what, you put their name, you know, their last name out in good light by giving a good account of yourself, even in defeat.
Right,
So.
right. Yeah.
And even on the flip side, even if your performance isn't good, but you're still entertaining somehow, whether it's outside of the ring, right? Adrian Broner, right?
Yeah.
People still pay to watch him fight, right? He has 4 losses now?
Yeah. Yeah, back to the point where you said, like, not everybody could be Mayweather. I thought of Adrian Broner. I was like, okay, he was trying to be Mayweather at first, but he has his own different brand, and I guess he...
About billions. Now he has $1 billion debt.
Man. What are your thoughts on Broner? If he comes to fight, would you see him based on entertainment value, or?
Yeah, I would see him
Yeah.
based on it. Because
Entertainment.
people like that, see,
Yeah.
they brag, but deep within their heart, they're good people.
Yeah,
They do that for a show.
Yeah.
So these are the smart people. These are the smart boxer. The promoter can promote you as far as we can,
Yeah,
but you have to promote yourself. You know, if you're a boxer, you have to learn how to label and brand yourself.
Yeah.
Look at one of the best example is, of course, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali can brag himself, but we still love him because of the way he says it, and we really understand what's within his heart.
What advice do you guys give to boxers, like in your stable, like to further their brand, like outside? What advice do you guys give them?
Stand for a cause. You know, I think that some fighters, they're you know, they stand for something, you know, whether it's breast cancer awareness, whether it's the disadvantaged kids, whether it's the kids who are in continuation, whether it's the kids who are in foster care, whether it's domestic violence. You know, I'm starting to be able to ask these questions to the fighters, and those that don't know, I really challenge them to find a cause, whether, you know, because everyone's doing things for a reason. You know, everyone has a gift, everyone has their own unique story, and they draw it from somewhere, you know, that dedication, that motivation, it's drawn from somewhere. You know, some fighters that I've had the liberty to just talk to one-on-one, they tell me their story that the gym saved their life. You know, so it's taking a stand for that, and I definitely agree you should brand yourself, but it starts with, what do you stand for? You know, and if you stay true to that, then it's going to take you far. It's going to make you the people's boxer. It's going to make you, you know, it's going to bring your following, because people are going to relate to you. Win or lose, they're going to relate to your story. You know, some of them, they do it for fellowship, you know, and that's amazing, you know, and I tell them, because they're so young and it's early on in their career, stay true to that, because when you're 20-0 or when you're a champ, you know, you're gonna have to give back, you know, and you want to give back to your own people that followed you from the very beginning, and it's those that you influence early on.
I think that was very, very good advice. One fighter that comes to mind that's been in our show is Anthony Sims Jr. And he's a 168-pound contender, and one of the reasons why we, you know, found him
19-0, 17 knockouts.
One of the reasons why we found him is one of his post-fight interviews blew up because he told the people what cause he was fighting for. So he's fighting for people that suffer with depression. He didn't even want to talk about boxing. He just wanted to talk about that cause, and that just blew up. And he was super sincere about it. You know, he was genuine about it. And so when we had him on, we talked more about that. And I completely agree. When you're fighting for something bigger than yourself, you're already on the way to becoming a people's champion that you mentioned.
And red boxing, you know, going back to your question, what red boxing can give an advice to the people, or what we can give them is, we would like to inspire the uninspired, you know. With red boxing, we give you an opportunity to win. Remember, red boxing doesn't have any signed fighters, so there's really no A side or B side. So it's an opportunity for them to win and showcase their talent. You know, it's good to be an underdog, because if you defeat someone that's a big name, then you're gonna be a big name in that city just overnight. So you will have a chance, you know, we give them inspiration.
And sometimes you just need the opportunity. And when you're matched, you know, appropriately, you know, you do have a chance. Because when you're like going up against someone that's away, you know, you're not in their league or whatever,
you never know who's watching.
You
never know who's coming to one of our events. You know, we do have celebrities that come through. We do have.
Who do we have? October 12th.
Well, we do
Tell
have,
me more.
you know, we have celebrities. We do have, you
might
know,
ditch our other gig.
trainers and managers. So, you know, like going back to what you just said, you know, you never know who's watching. You know, if you come out here and you fight on our card, you never know who might like your technique, who might take you under their wing because they see something in you. So we are, you know, what's being developed, it is a big platform of opportunity.
And we've seen that. Like we told you guys, we do commentating. We've also seen celebrities, and we've seen like the Abel Sanchez be like, oh, that guy was, even though I think that fighter lost, he's like, that guy's athletic. He has something to, you know, he's like, he's a good fighter. He just needs to be polished and coach trained. So I've seen that, firsthand. So you guys want to say some names that are going to be on the October 12th show?
October 12th, Pico Rivera Sports Arena.
For Pico Rivera Sports Arena, the good thing about it is we're not only trying to bring boxing fans, but we want to bring fans that are we're trying to attract fans that's going to love boxing. So we're bringing up rappers such as Ray J, Rasby, Princess Love, Brandy, and Snoop Dogg.
I know that guy.
We're also bringing
shout out to Long Beach.
Right.
YouTube sensation, Paul Logan. And, and Jake Paul. They're gonna be there.
Nice.
So
October 12th.
October 12th.
All right.
Nice.
Yes.
You know,
get your tickets now.
What are you guys' thoughts on the the YouTubers, the names that you just mentioned, they're gonna have a fight. You know, what are you guys' thoughts on that? That they're having
A fight in November.
Yeah. Do you think it's good for boxing?
To me, it is very good for boxing because these people have 20 million followers. So if they have fan bases, if these kids like Jake Paul, Logan Paul fighting, then their fans will start looking at boxing. You know, that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's marketing. You know, introducing something that people would want.
Oh yeah. And your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's great for marketing too because you know, for a while, you know, MMA, UFC has kind of been the most favorite contact sport. You know, so it's bringing back that love for boxing because it's different. It's more disciplined. You know, you know, you have the great UFC. You know, you have that aspect, but boxing's it's different. It's an ancient sport. You have to be really dedicated, really precise. You know, so it's exciting to see, you know, that they're doing everything they can to bring that back.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's like another, you know, 20 million casuals and everything's now like on the phone. So if they see that on the phone, they always have their phone on. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I might see some of these fights, and they hear something about fights locally. Okay.
Exactly.
Not only that, gym membership will also grow.
Yeah.
Because people wants to box now.
Yeah.
You know, kids buy Logan Paul's merchandise at $60.
Yeah.
You know, kids. So if they look up to Logan Paul, they also want to box. You know, mom, dad, I want to go to the gym.
That's true.
Because my idol is doing this. You know, because once you have a fan base like that, man, you have to be responsible. You have to be a responsible citizen. You know, more is looking up to you. So you have to take care of that because you're no longer just an ordinary person. You are a role model. You have to choose between being a good one or a bad one because people will follow you.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me ask you this, Ray. If just a random person who doesn't even know about boxing, if you tell them I'm a boxing promoter, what would you say your job is?
But see, I told you this early on. I'm not a boxing promoter. Red Boxing, we are a promoter for the people. It doesn't mean we just call it boxing promoter because we are in that sport. But I'm also a promoter of wrestling. I'm also a promoter of MMA. I'm also a promoter of music. I'm also a promoter of films.
Right.
You know, because if you really study my background, I'm not a boxing promoter. I'm a dream builder.
Amen.
I build people's dream.
Okay.
That's how I became a music producer. That's how I become a filmmaker. That's how I become a boxing promoter, because people has dreams. I'm just a tool to open that dream up. It's for these people to take it if they want it or not. And they have to understand that. If they really want it, they have to work.
What are some names that you feel like, oh, this guy or this woman, she's going to get to her dream?
I can say, number one, Angel El Moreno. I think he's a good kid because you don't have to tell him anything. He knows what he wants. He's 3-0, but he wants to fight a good fight. And that tells you something. You know? And there's another one, La Cobra.
Yeah.
We
know her.
She's a mother of 3. You know, she wakes up 5, runs, take her children to school, go to work, pick up her children, then go to the gym. So there is no excuse. These two different entities have different ways of making their dreams or paving their dreams, but both personalities have and will inspire more people.
Yeah, we've had Cobra on the show, and yeah, she tells us all about her duties as a mother and as a boxer.
It's hard, you know.
It's already tough. Like, it's a full-time gig being a mom, and then to be a man.
Yes. She inspires me. I can just tell you that. You know, I'm a mom too. You know, And I can tell you, it is hard, you know, when you have the responsibility of getting up, getting your child to work, school when they don't want to, you know, the homework aspect. And like you said, she is training, you know, it's, I breathe and I gain 10 pounds, you know. So imagine she's trying to cut weight, you know, and she's really putting it out there. So it's very motivating. And, you know, and just her personality is just, you know, she captures you, you know, and I try to show these to my goddaughters and my kids, you know, like you need to work hard. That's the cool thing. Working hard is definitely the cool thing. And same thing like with Angel, and not just those two, but in the other fighters that we have on the card, you know, they're hungry and they're dedicated, and that's what we're looking for, is the most dedicated, the hungriest, because that's what's going to give you guys the showcase that you guys are looking for, that raw talent.
Yeah.
So she just mentioned that she got inspired, and that is what red boxing is all about, is to inspire someone and keep that inspiration and pass that beacon to another person, just paying it forward.
And it's not just in boxing. When we put these events together, we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for vendors. So some vendors don't even know the opportunity that we're giving them until we tell them, you know, this is a good opportunity to get seen, marketing, advertising, you know, to stand behind a fighter, to add more business, more followers. So it's not just boxing. We're opening the doors for vendors and small businesses and our community to come out, especially, you know, around the area, you know, in Pico. We're looking for businesses in Pico to help. We want to help you guys build your business. You know, we want to help the community. We want to, you know, help whatever organizations out there that needs help, whether it's Victory Outreach, because they have, you know, they have youth too, you know. We want to reach all those people because that's what matters. You know, if it's business, boxing, whatever it is, music, TV, whatever it is, you know, come to us and we'll, you know, he sees a dream and we'll work hard for you, you know, like, and that's you got a team, you know, it takes a team to build it.
Yeah, no, that definitely. Team, you can only go so far if you're doing stuff on your own, right?
Right.
You need to work as a team to build each other up and reach new heights.
If you want to go fast, you do it on yourself.
Yeah.
But if you go longevity, you got to have a team.
That's true. Yeah. Something that you mentioned as well with the fighters, like I like that you talked about community. To me, I love seeing fighters that go back and, you know, get back to community. Of course, you can't always capture that because a lot of people don't want the cameras around to show when they're being, you know, giving back to the community. But I think that's so important.
It is.
To connect to your community because they're the ones that are going to support you in the beginning of your career, for sure.
But Red Boxing is already doing that. In fact, we are doing a show on October 19th to give back to the community. Red Boxing is gonna host the first Almirantes Cup. You know, it's a charity event for, you know, it's a night of celebrities and champions. So we invited 40 celebrities and 40 champions, whether it's a regional belt, world champion, you know. We have Gregory Puente coming. We have Brian Biloria coming. We have Paul Banks coming. So we have a variety of old timers coming. Why? Because Red Boxing wants them to be remembered every year. This is gonna be a first event of an every year event. Because once you become a world champion, 20 years after, you go to the gym, no one remembers you. We want to give you recognition, certificates, and to give back to the people. Because the money we're going to raise on October 19th will be distributed all over the world. It depends on how much money we're going to gain. We're going to give gloves, we're going to give headgears to poor countries that wishes they have. And probably inspire them and make their dreams come true, you know, by giving them proper equipments. You give them proper equipment. It's for them to train.
Yeah, no, it's really nice of you guys to do that. Not everybody has the privileges that we have here in the United States, and like you said, a lot of these boxing is a poor man's sport. You know, someone that decides to lace up the gloves usually is coming from a, you know, poverty-stricken background, and that's maybe the only option that they have to fight in. So we've heard the stories of Pacquiao where he didn't have any of that stuff, and so he had to do what he could to get into the sport,
And just imagine if the world champions worked for this to be sent to your gym. Former world champions, current champions is working for this to be donated to your gym. That's an inspiration on its own.
Yeah. So talking back about the fights, we like we said, we comment these fights. These are usually 4-rounders, 6-rounders. Another reason why they're so exciting is because they're not too long, and so you got to do the action quick.
Right.
What are some of you guys' most memorable moments, or fighters, or fights?
Oh wow, I would say minis.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
just, I am never disappointed when I see him in the ring. And I tell people, you want to see a good show. I think it's because of perception, maybe, I don't know. But when he comes out, it's exciting to see, and his skill is just wow. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, what? You can't blink at his show.
Axel Aragon.
Yeah, you cannot blink because you will miss what he puts in there. So, Cobra,
Cobra, of course.
yes. Because I'm inside and I'm seeing it, they're all exciting. It's all exciting because I'm seeing them train. So, and then when I see them in there, they all give me good moments, surprising moments at that. Especially the debuts. Those were the exciting ones. Because two different. You could see the styles are different. The trainings are different. But what's not different is they're putting it all out there.
Yeah.
So Red Boxing has only 2 titles.
Okay.
Road to Glory is what you see from 4 rounds, 6 rounds, or 8 rounds. So what you see here is the Supremacy Showdown. This is our big show. So when you see Road to Glory, those are kids we want to develop. When we do a Supremacy Showdown, these are the top people already who's ready to defend their title, to show them, to showcase themselves to the world. And this is the reason we bring celebrities in. We had TMZ, we had East News on our press conference, we had Hollywood Weekly.
Nice.
We want to give them the best exposure they can.
Yeah, and that's something, of course, that like up and coming fighters struggle with, right? Where they don't have that I guess the cameras on them yet, and so that's really nice of you that you guys helped them out with that. Again, we talked about how also helps them with media training, right? A lot of these fighters get
stuff that they're not prepared for, and they don't know it's actually part of the package. It's part of the deal. You know, it's not just the dedication to drop weight, go in the ring, and fight. It's like we've talked about. It's what you do outside of the gym. It's the community where it's being able to talk and be understood. And part of talking, you have to be able to have some sort of education under you to be able to speak clear. Whatever language you are. So it's a bigger aspect. And some fighters even will tell us they never expected to see a production like that. They, they just thought like, oh, I'm gonna go in the gym or go in the ring and just fight it out and go home, So when they see it, from when they walk in, when they drive in, you start feeling that excitement. I feel that excitement when, the day of, it's like, wow, this is a big venue, and we're walking the whole thing. So it's just like, it's big. Yeah. And when the lights are going up, the ring's going up, and when they get there, you could tell they're like, oh wow, and they see their area, and they take a glimpse before the seats start filling up. You could tell, like some of them say like, I had no idea this is what I was in for, like wow. And it motivates them. It makes them even more hungry to get out there and show everybody. And even after, when they're being interviewed, some of them, they tell me they weren't prepared to answer certain questions, but they know now what they have to think about, where they need to be prepared for that. Like we talked about, what's the cause, what's the reason, why are you doing it?
There you go. Something that they need to. It's like just like a fight where like, okay, you got to learn on the spot from this interview, and to be better next, to be a little bit more entertaining, to share more about your person, your personality, or
who you are, why you're doing it.
Yeah, because a lot of those things are emphasized in other sports. Well, mostly every sport, right? Basketball, football, even soccer. Doing the interviews, going to the press conference after the fight is part of your job, right? For some reason in boxing, it's not really a thing, right? So I think it's important for like people like you guys, right? A young fighter to get that in their mind a little bit, Interviews, the perception from all the people, like you said, role models, right?
Because some people, like, you know, you could be a good fighter, but nobody knows you're a good fighter because nobody knows what you're doing, you know. And some fighters tell me, like, I don't even have a Instagram or a Facebook, you know. And it's like, what are you doing? Oh, it's not my thing, you know. It's like, well, it needs to be your thing because that's how you're going to let people know who you are. And if you let people know who you are, they're going to come to your show. If they're coming to your show, you have following, you have fans, and it's not just coming out to your fights, it's your merchandise, it's a bigger thing. And if they see, if promoters or whoever sees that you have a big chances are you're going to get on their card, you know, and you're going to, and it opens up the door to more, to sponsorships, you know, which is what helps these fighters, you know, get through training or whatnot. And so if you're personable, you're marketable, people are going to want to throw money at you just to wear their hat or take a bite of their Snicker bar or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So it builds that. And, you know, I know what it takes to be a good fighter. I've seen them do it and I see the dedication, but let's be real. Bills have to get paid, you know? So if if you're constantly going to work and you're dealing with the hustle and bustle of working and grinding and trying to make your money, you really can't give the focus of training 100%. But if you had sponsors, you know, it makes it easy. So it's really important to be able to talk to people, to get out into your community, to build that support. So it makes it easy to get on a card. Or
do you guys feel like the fighter today, this era, has more work to do as opposed to the fighter of yesteryear, now with the advent of social media?
The social media will put a lot of pressure on them, depending on how they act. You know,
it could really hurt you, or it could really make you. You know, a lot of people are like quick to, you know, to vent on social media and not think about what they're putting, and it could really hurt you because, you know, I know for us as a promotion, we don't want no, you know, bad energy out there, you know. So we kind of, you know, we look at that, you know what I mean. We want to make sure that you're standing for a positive cause, not a negative one, you know. And, you know, you'll see it on social media where, you know, there'll be internet bullying and stuff like that. And that's really dangerous, especially in this contact sport, because you have people calling each other out outside the ring. So it's really hard to, you know, and that's one thing that, you know, we try to tell the fighters is keep it clean, you know.
You guys ever had to check somebody, be like, I didn't like that post that you put, maybe you should take it down? Tell us. You don't have to say names.
Yes, but at the same time, it hurts their career. It's going to hurt, you know what I mean? And just like when you go on a job interview, you say one bad thing, wrong thing, you're not going to get, you know, you only have so much time to impress somebody, you know what I mean? And you could hurt that just by a post, by saying something wrong, doing a feed that maybe is not you or, you know, what's in your background, you know. And that's one thing I try to tell these fighters is when you're promoting yourself and you're doing live feed, don't just check what you're doing, check who's in your background, because you don't want to send the wrong message. You don't want to be about the wrong thing, and you don't want to say the wrong thing, because that could really hurt you from working with a promotion company that could actually build your career or help you advance, you know. Kind of who
Again, these are like young fighters starting their careers, you know. So they're young. Maybe some stuff that they say now 5-10 years from now, they were like, why did I put it? Like, so it's like you guys kind of have like that small responsibility to kind of check them, right? And, you know, well, of course,
permanent,
yes,
you know?
exactly. Nowadays, whatever you put on,
it's permanent.
It's going to be there.
It's the people around them. Because the people around them advises them. Remember, it's not their name. It's the fighter's name that's on the line. So if they made a mistake, and the fighter puts it out there on social media, then that will hurt the fighter, not the advisor.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we don't do live shows, right?
Edit that part. No, but that's really true, you know, and that's why it's important to have someone in your corner who's going to believe in your cause or what you stand. That's why it's important. Have a cause, stand for something, because, you know, I'm sure you guys see it a lot, even in any entertainment, you're always going to have snakes in the grass. People advising you to do this way, go that way. You know what I mean? So if you
laughing over there,
he knows what I'm talking about. You know, so if you have a cause, you're going to be able to decipher the snakes in the grass, because you're going to know they're not about that cause, and they're going to stand out because they're not about that cause. You know, so that's the best advice I can give to not just any fighter, but anyone who has a vision and a dream to be something. You know, make sure you have a cause and surround yourself with people who have that same cause to protect your image.
Yeah. Is there a specific cause that you're standing up for at the moment?
Ooh, I've never been asked that question. That's
question.
a
Practice
good question.
Put your next Ray.
Put you against the ropes a little bit.
Oh, that was.
Fight off the
Man, I
ropes.
feel
Ray's like, I already answered mine.
yeah, I feel a little against the ropes on that one.
Ray's like, I'm a dream builder.
Well, you know what? And you know what? He's the dream builder. I'm the maker. You know, I'm gonna give you my 100% all, regardless of what it is. You know, I see if I feel, if I see something and I believe in it, I'm gonna give you my all. You know what I mean? And I see something in this organization that I can tell you, I'll throw it all in there just because I believe in what's happening and what they're doing and what's it about. And I could say I'm for cancer awareness cause. I could say I'm from, the disadvantaged youth. I could say I'm from a Latina woman, a woman, breaking barriers in a male dominant industry. I could say I'm all about that. But at the end of the day, everybody has a story. I'm about that story and not being ashamed of that story, because we all have a story, whether it's depression, anxiety, poverty, we all have a story. So I think that if we all understand that, then we'll have a better understanding of everybody, of each other,
Great answer.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is my first time. I did not practice.
We've had fighters on the show, and we've asked them, like, I'm sure you guys have been against the ropes. You guys have been, stuff inside the ring. But tell us one thing that you had to deal with outside the ring. Maybe a lot of people don't know about, and how you dealt with that. So I feel like there's a lot of parallels between fighters and just people. People
Right.
are in a battle in life.
Right.
So I'm gonna put you guys on the hot spot, and I'm gonna ask you guys maybe one time where you guys are going through some against the ropes, maybe something difficult, and how you guys dealt with that.
I can tell you things that are difficult for me is, and I'm sure a lot of women can relate to this, is being a female and being a hustler. I can tell you that a lot of us out there, we struggle to have a voice, struggle to have an opinion, struggle to have a position, because we're just that females. And I could tell you my struggle has constantly been building businesses. I've built $1 million businesses, and the struggle was having a position, having a voice, or having that, like, yeah, she did that, but I don't get it because I'm a female. So I took my butt back to college and got myself a degree just to be able to show I have experience, I have an education. Now what? So for me, the biggest challenge is being a female and being respected in a male-dominant industry. But because we have females like Cobra, because we have females like Chelsea and Tess, and females who are really doing what they can to break barriers, I'm all for that. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there is a female NFL now that's paid in female NFL.
I heard about that.
Yes, my goddaughter is actually one of the females who so for me it's inspiring. It drives me to just keep going, especially with this organization, because there's just so much opportunity.
Red Boxing will take care of you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Same question, Ray.
Same question. What was the question?
So the question's maybe one time where life has got you, down, and where it's been really tough, and and maybe a time like what did you do to overcome that situation?
Well,
what advice you give to people maybe that are gone through something similar that you've gone through?
there's really a lot, but I'm just gonna give you a general answer to that question. Let's just, since this is a boxing show, I won't go into personal details, so let's talk more on boxing. There are challenges in boxing, like matchmaking challenges. Matchmaker is a backbone of any organization in boxing.
Okay.
If your matchmaker doesn't do well, it's gonna make or break your fight. So what we're trying to do right now is just to send a message across to the world. That's the hardest part, because Red Boxing just came in July 20th of last year, and we are doing it differently. We are using different people in the industry who has no experience on boxing, so people would look down on us. Oh, they don't have any experience. Yeah, but we also have built $1 million businesses,
Yeah.
like she mentioned.
Mhm.
You know, it's just about numbers and
Yeah.
you know,
Hard
And-
work is hard work.
and people try to criticize us that we're new, but we are not new. I am not new. I've seen both end of the world from east to west.
Mhm.
I've seen how it is promoted back in the east, and I've seen how it's being promoted here.
Mhm.
That's why when there's a problem like that, I listen and I just keep my mouth shut because I already know the answer in my head.
Mhm.
You know.
Yep. Nice. Nice. What are some things that you take from your East, experience that you bring here to
Num- yeah, number one, if you're in the Philippines, everybody will fight anybody. No one's gonna take care of you. If you want to have an undefeated record, you have to fight everybody. And if you made it, you made it. You know, because not everyone will be undefeated. Because all road comes to the United States, and if they're just gonna fight, tricycle drivers or Carabao riders, then
tricycle in Mexico?
I had a visual of that one.
you know what I mean?
There's like a new term for every country, right?
Yeah. So what is it gonna? They're gonna come to the United States, bringing the flag and get their ass whooped. You know.
British boxers.
Oh. he doesn't give British. Yeah, they let him down every single time.
No, it is. Look, I mean, we're not gonna mention it, but it is. History will show you that he is also correct.
He said Pacquiao hadn't.
Oh yeah, Hadden got sent back straight to Great Britain.
Andy Ruiz and Anthony
Oh,
Joshua.
there you go.
Oh yeah.
You know.
That's why I like Tyson Fury, because he's proving me wrong.
Yeah.
Gypsy King.
I'll ask you really quick. Who do you think wins the second fight?
Which one?
Joshua Ruiz.
Me, honestly, if Andy Ruiz just was given the fight 2 weeks before the fight, Andy Ruiz will win this fight because he was given 3 months before the fight. And that's number one. Secondly, it's just an opinion, okay? Things may go wrong or right. But secondly, that wasn't a lucky punch. People are saying it's a lucky punch. If I put you down 4 times, man, I whooped your ass. You know?
Yeah.
So that tells you that Anthony Joshua will be more of a defensive fighter.
This time around.
Because his head, his subconscious will tell him he's gonna get hurt. Whether he likes it or not, oh shit, this is coming. The overhand right is coming. So you have to protect yourself. You know? So
Yeah.
I think, in my own honest opinion, Andy Ruiz will defend his title.
Nice.
What do you think? What do you
Yeah,
think, Janine?
yeah. I have to agree. I have to agree.
Yeah.
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 I'm excited to see that.
I'm excited to see that fight too. We
Yeah.
also have another boxing fight this weekend. Spence Jr.
Oh,
Porter.
against Porter.
Showtime, Sean
What do you guys have for that one?
Porter.
Porter, really?
I'll go for Errol.
Okay. How do you see it ending?
I mean, on the 12th round, Adrian Bronner knocked Porter
down?
Yeah.
So with someone that is tall, fast, and has power,
Mhm.
this might not
Okay.
end very well.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? I
That
think
makes it even more exciting.
I think this is gonna be the last time that I doubt Errol Spence, but I'm gonna go with Sean Porter.
Really?
I've never seen Sean Porter hurt, even though he's been dropped. If Errol Spence couldn't knock out Mikey, a guy, two divisions smaller than him, I don't think he can knock out Sean Porter.
Oh.
I'm only giving Sean Porter like maybe 30% chance of winning, but I'm still gonna rock with him because he's a nice guy.
He's got a good personality.
He's nice, yeah.
This is boxing,
Yeah.
Not a dating show.
not Mr. not Mr. Congeniality.
Nah, but I'm gonna take the risk and I'll say Sean Porter. It's probably the last time I'm gonna pick against Errol Spence, like I said. But fuck it, I'm gonna roll the dice.
Yeah.
Sean Porter.
You have pretty well. I would say Gio has maybe a 90%, rate of picking his fights correctly. So
so that's exciting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
About.
Sean Porter also has more experience than Errol Spence. He's faced better opposition. All right. So we'll see. We'll see if Errol Spence could do it outside of his hometown.
Yeah.
That's the exciting part.
Yeah.
LA, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's hard to pick against Errol Spence.
Yeah.
I think the only one, and Gio has gotten me the contrary on this one. I guess the only one I think can give him problems is Terrence Crawford. But yeah, for this one for sure, I think Errol Spence Jr. will show that he's the truth. I'll ask you guys, for Spence Jr. against Crawford, who do you guys think wins that fight?
I mean, it's kind of difficult because Crawford has knocking power. You know.
Both hands, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll go for Crawford.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I don't know. I don't know.
That was a little bit.
That's gonna
be hard.
that's a difficult one, but that's what's exciting.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, when you don't know,
Yeah.
you know.
If Errol Spence could get a knockout this fight, all right, he's legit. He's a real deal. Number one welterweight in the world. But we'll see. Should be exciting. Are you guys paying for that?
Pay-per-view.
Uh-huh.
I have an awarding ceremony that
Yeah.
day.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I'm-
we'll definitely be hosting that at our house. So
No, okay, nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you going to pay for it?
I think
that's the magic.
if I could get
question.
I know.
three more buddies to come in and help
Is
me
it
chip
exciting enough to pay for it?
in, it's exciting enough.
The
If
card
I
is
can
going to
find
be
three
good.
more guys to help me chip in for it. Yeah.
The card is going to be good. David Benavidez against Anthony Durrell.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty good. You have Josecito Lopez against John Molina Jr., right?
Mhm.
That's going to be good. Joey Spence is going to be in it too.
Joey Spencer, yeah.
So should be exciting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So October 12th, though.
October 12th. Tell us more. Tell us all the details real quick. We're already
Well,
an hour in.
Well, we do have October 12th, and we're working on January 25th as well.
Okay.
So it's not, you know, you're gonna keep seeing more shows, and not just here. We're international. You know, you just had one in the Philippines and Mexico.
Nice.
So
Okay.
we're not done here. You know, we're planning on going to the east. You know, so
Yeah. If we get that invite, we always want to go
Yeah.
to the Philippines, right?
yeah, right.
Let's
Get
go.
your passports.
I've never
been. You know, so it's exciting. You know, this not just in Pico, but where we're going, and so it's, you know, come out October 12th, see what what we've got in store for you guys, and spread the word, spread the love, and keep it going.
Hey.
And is this the parting words?
Yeah.
It is or no?
I suppose.
I suppose.
8:30.
8:30. So, you know, Red Boxing is trying to build other people's dream, and we are promoters for the people. But Red Boxing cannot survive without the support of the people.
Of course.
We still need the people to see the show, sponsor us, come out. Not just for the fighters. You know, remember us.
Snoop Dogg.
Just remember us as Red Boxing. When it's Red Boxing, no matter who's fighting, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we need your support.
Definitely.
Keep this going.
Yeah.
Definitely.
To
Yes,
keep
sir.
me inspired.
Yeah.
To keep on doing this as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm witness to that when I went to see that show, it was very competitive, and I saw this is like, yeah, definitely it's not where you can tell like, oh, this guy's gonna win. Like, you know, no, it's always tough even for quote unquote the A side. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we've seen upsets, and we've seen
Oh,
things
yeah.
not going according to plan.
And that's what's great because, you know, you hear a lot of the talk, you know, and the confidence is there, you know, but the opponents, you know, like I said, they're putting it all out there. So you really don't know what you're going to get when you get in that ring. And, you know, you might, you know, your confidence might just get the best of you, you know. So it is really exciting because you see who's confident and who, you know, who's ready. And when they're in there, like you said, you just never know because someone might just be trained, you know, might just have that timing or might get that one punch in.
Again, these are intimate venues, so it's like you're close to the ring. People that just watch the fights maybe at the big venues, like
Different.
it's different.
Different.
A lot closer. Really, like
All
right
the
there.
seats there are great seats.
All the seats there are great.
Great seats.
And again, sometimes you'll see even better fights in these venues than on TV. Like straight up, real talk. You might see better action here
Yeah.
often because again, short rounds. You know, these guys don't have any time to really, you know, make any mistakes, so they have to really try to win every single round,
Exactly.
as opposed to the longer fights where you have some time to take off and
Right.
there's a lull in the action. No, these ones,
Yeah, put it all out
put
there.
it all out there, man.
But not only that, most of the fighters on the B side gets only 2 days or a week notice.
Mm.
So we already fulfilled the card, and
Mm.
we're still 3 weeks away.
Mm.
So there is really no excuse for them. Oh, I'm
Mm-mm.
not trained.
Yeah.
I just flew there for the money.
Mhm.
You know, they've been told like a month before the fight.
Mhm.
You know, and we just filled up our card. So they're really, if they don't train, then that's their fault. You know,
Mhm.
because we gave them enough fight,
Ample time.
and that's how we level the playing field.
Mhm. There you go. No excuses, man.
No excuses.
Lots of actions. October 12th
October 12th.
in Pico Rivera Sports Arena.
Yes.
You know, great show. It was a pleasure having you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Where can people follow you guys or buy tickets? all
We
that good
are
stuff?
on Instagram at official Red Boxing Promotions. You can get your tickets at Ticketon or off of your favorite fighter. We're on Facebook as well. YouTube, definitely follow our YouTube. We definitely have some good videos up there, and you'll be seeing more as we expose more. So definitely follow us.
Social media, anywhere they can follow you guys?
Red Boxing Promotions.
Official Red Boxing.
Official Red
Official
Boxing.
Red Boxing Promotions.
Yes,
We'll put that on the link.
Official. Yes.
Yes, sir. If you guys ever have any fighters want to bring them on here, hit us up.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
we're always welcome to new guests.
Yes.
Doesn't matter who they are, up and comers, veterans, promoters.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
where can they follow
Dream
us?
Builders.
Dream
as well.
Builders. Hey.
Yes. Yes.
You wanna say something? You didn't say it in your Filipino language. You wanna say something in Spanish? Or-
Why do you always push me?
This is called Against the Ropes, man. Come on.
Really putting us against the ropes.
Something in Spanish.
Something in
For all the
Spanish.
people who may want to go to Pico Rivera.
No, we are Asians, but in Asia, we're the dominant English-speaking country
Mhm.
in Asia, because the United States was able to. They were our last conqueror
Mhm.
before they liberated us.
Yeah.
So most Filipino and English is our part of our curriculum in school.
Mhm.
So everyone speaks English in our
Yeah.
country.
I've always said, like, Filipinos and Mexicans, they have so much in common.
Right.
You know, family oriented.
400 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just a lot of the culture are similar. You have names like Manny, who's like Manuel, and like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, because of the Spanish conquest.
Gutierrez, Perez,
Mhm.
Ramirez, you know.
Yeah, there was one time where I was with my grandpa. We were about to watch the Pacquiao fight. And I got something happened to his cable. He went out. His neighbor is Filipino, and I was like, "Abuelito, I'm just gonna go over next door and see if we can see it with them." Even before, like, I got there, they're like, "Hey, come over and do."
they have food.
Yes, they have a lot of food. Honestly, I felt
You
like.
can definitely depend on that.
Oh, and we ate a lot. I was like, man, it feels just like,
Yes,
yeah. So
they will fill your belly.
yeah, so
Yes,
there's
I'll
like
see.
some culture, understanding.
And there is.
Yeah.
There is, and we have some great stuff working for 2020.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
With that, it's amazing.
Any final messages you guys want to tell the people?
In any
fans?
language.
In any language.
Well, I didn't brush up on my Spanish.
Señoras y señores.
No, you know what? For me, everyone should should not inspire to make money,
Mhm.
to make a living, We should try to inspire everyone to so instead of fighting against each other, we should all help each other to fight against poverty,
Mm.
not against each one of us. We can help each other push ourselves upwards, not downwards.
Mhm.
If someone we see going up, we pull them down
Mhm.
because they can't do it.
Mhm.
Just stay there, help out, and maybe one day your dreams will come true.
Like that. I like
Dream
that.
builder.
Rain will make your dreams come true.
All right, great show, episode 55. Thank you guys for coming once again. Where can they follow us? Or are we still
We got in trouble with
hacked
the
or, I don't know,
Instagram
something happened to
police or
us?
something. We'll figure it out after. But they can follow us on Against DA on all social media platforms. They can find us online on againsttheropes.online. And you'll see all the podcasts and all the behind the scenes interviews that we covered, the open workout for Errol Spence Jr. and Sean Porter. So a lot of good stuff that's going to be coming up. Again, Redbox, October 12th in Pico Rivera. You guys do not want to miss it. Great fights, great energy, family, intimate. It doesn't get better than being in that kind of setting. So don't miss their show, and we'll give you guys more details on a following show in January that's coming.
You don't want to be somewhere else that night.
No.
Yeah.
And if you are, I'm really sorry.
Screw the club. Let's go see some fights.
All right. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel as well, Against the Ropes Podcast. We'll be active on that. Hopefully they get us back on Instagram. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week. We out. Thank you.
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco AtR. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.